So Steve Donoghue recently put up a video and asked, like, how do we use our, like he said, laptops or desktops or computers? So I use an iPad. It's actually right here in front of me, and I'll be looking this way because I have it plugged into an external monitor. I've done an entire video on my desk setup, which I will link to up above on this side, I think, to show you what I do that way and how my desk is set up and all the choices I've made. And I think they should still be the same. Maybe my USB-C hub has changed, but ultimately it's the same setup. I have this is a clamp that goes on it. It's on a monitor arm, so I can move it. Basically the same setup over here for my LG UL 27 UL 500, dumb name. And yeah, and then I have a keyboard, just standard keyboard. So standard, it's I forgot now. It's the Kinesis Freestyle Solo. It's not that. It's a Keychron K2 and an MX Master Mouse. But as far as working, what I do is one of my main writing app now is actually Drafts. And so if we go in here, you can see I actually have my notes. Tag it to Steve's video in the comments and I'll link to it. So this is all the posts that I'm really currently working on right here. See, I got one. Oh, I was going to just go through. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to blank that one out so you can't see it because you shouldn't see it. My January wrap up and TBR, which is going to come up in a little bit. I'll record that probably next week, just at the last week of January, and then another Death of Expertise review. Yeah, review. So I have to actually do this. This is just my notes. So when I'm working on one, what I will do is I usually start out like this in Drafts, just some notes here, what I use to write. So I use Drafts now because of automation and shortcuts. So what workspaces do I have? Let's just use the notes here. So to do that, we can click workspaces and you can see I've got clients. So that's client stuff, code snippets. I actually keep all my code snippets in here too for work, programmer, for most of my income. Ideas, and published writing. I actually have a writing working thing, which I don't actually use. So anyway, I do have a working one too. I haven't used it. I have really just switched over to Drafts in the last month. So I will have to reevaluate if I'm going to use that or not. I switched over to Drafts from not IA Writer, from OneWriter, number one writer, because of some of the automation that it lets me do. And so let me show you that specifically. So this is another video. That's probably a bad one. The problem with Scrivener, leaders eat last, is probably the best one. So some of the automation this lets me do, I'm going to have to look up the shortcut because I just built it, but it's called footnotes. So this is all the automation you're allowed in here. Actually save, I'll show you this one first, edit. This is what I save my files with. It runs 4 scripts. So the first thing it does is it runs my actual shortcut as an iOS shortcut format static file name. And that lets me put in like the actual title of the post. It lets me put in the date, the time, everything like that, and formats the file name right, and then gives me the file name .markdown, and I paste it in because the next thing it does is it exports it out to wherever I choose in iPadOS. And I paste that in because it gives me the file name when it does that. And then does the export, right? And then it does run shortcut. It runs postcm. And so that actually interfaces with Git. My site is on Statamic. And so that will actually interface with Git and go out, pull the Git repository, ask me which file I want to add to the Git repository. And then it has an issue that I haven't actually worked out yet where it should push it as well. And that would actually let me have my post ready to go in the future. It doesn't do that yet. But some of the other things that I do, that's one I use like regularly. I use that shortcut for everything, and I have that mapped to Shift Command A in my iPad. But some of the other ones I have are down here. Keyboard Markdown is Markdown footnote. I just actually got this one, so let me see what my shortcut is. What this does, and I'll show you in a second. Label function key. So it's Shift Option K. So what this will do is, see, I have a footnote here, and so this is page 18, and I want to go like this. So I go Shift Option K. Oh, why did it give me that? I don't know why I did that. Okay, what is it supposed to do? Let's just hit Markdown footnote. That's what it's supposed to do. Give me this. So that's right. So I actually need to change how I do my Markdown footnotes. Command is being held. Probably because Command. That's one of the bugs with iPadOS is that it'll think the Command key is held down. So let's try another one. Let's go to page, right, the next footnote is here, page 12. Let's just kill that and go like this. Shift Option K. No, it's still giving me that. So I don't know why it's doing this. So let's change that and show you what it does. Edit keyboard appearance in the function. Shift Option Command K. Ah, there you go. Shift Option Command K. Done. So try this again. Shift Option Command K. That's what I want. So it's going to give me a footnote, and what that has done is it's actually put that footnote down in the bottom of my entire document right here. So I can leave my footnotes in, and I actually need to stop doing like a full footnote. I need to denote it some other way. So I would just save me this deleting part. So Shift Option Command K, 3, and so now I have more footnotes in the bottom. So this lets me write the footnotes in line as I go, and then automates them, putting them down. So that was one reason that I switched over to Drafts, because I could never really find a good way to parse the text in OneWriter for that. I'll come back to this later. I like writing in Markdown, and Drafts just does it really, really well. Yeah, I like how it handles it. I don't like how Ulysses has handled it. And my CMS all runs on that as well. But it lets me also do other things, like I can take the YouTube version of this, and I can highlight the text, and it'll actually go through and pull out every link that I put in my written script for this book and put it in the YouTube description, and actually ask me for the YouTube description, like what's the first thing I want to do, and then append all like the here's my gear, here's my other stuff, links at the bottom. What else is in my notes? So save files with Dropbox. That's where they end up going right now. I don't love Dropbox though. I'd love to actually move over to iCloud, and we're working on that. And I have an archive folder in files right here. What do I got here? iCloud Drive, Dropbox. Oh, I'm taking a while. There we go. And I have writing. And so what it does, it actually also archives all my projects too as I go. So this is like just my 2020 files writing. Right, I have a script I can run to like count the file, the word count in here. So this is, I don't even know how many that is. It's a lot, 377. So I had 377 individual written things out in some fashion in 2019. And I haven't done this, I guess I started in 2015, so I don't know what's 2016. So I'm 123, right? 2017. I can tell you how many times I wrote something. Some of this is for clients, with writing clients, stuff like that. 358. So you can see I write a bunch. What was 2018? Just because I'm curious now. 548. Wow, 2018 was 548. It's a lot. 2819. So that's what I do with that in my files. Let's go back to Drafts and see what my other notes was. For programming, if you care, I use Blink Shell. I have a whole video on this. Blink Shell isn't in here. So one thing I do when I use my computer is I actually don't use the dock very often. In Mac, I almost never use it. And I just use Command Space to search for like Blink Shell. So Blink Shell lets me, you can't see it now, but it actually lets me do multi-window as well. So that's nice. I have my nice big screen. When I'm recording, it keeps it small, but it lets me SSH or Mosh or whatever into my different servers and do my work there, which is excellent. I use Dash for documentation. All right, this is my documentation browser. Updates found, update. So this is like if I need Vim help, if I need look up a function in WordPress, stuff like that. So that is what else I use. My iPad Pro case is the Initech KB02010. It's a long name. And I've done a review on that. I'll link to that. The second is the Bridge keyboard, and I'll do a review of that. So link to that. That one's better for if you're using it on your lap. I like this one because I don't have to have the keyboard all the time. Same my desk, I've already done a full walkthrough, and my wallpaper is really whatever seems interesting to me, usually a picture I've taken. This is me on top of a mountain. Yeah, me on top of Mount Frosty, training for a 50K race. And that's technically, this is not the summit. The summit is behind my head, but the summit requires real climbing, whereas like the false summit kind of back here does not. So most people just go to here. That's just runs in a big loop, and this goes over the lip, and I actually summited. Oh, or something like, let me see what else I got. Kid photo, Lego photo. Right? I take my Lego photos because I like Lego. A Lego photo, a kid photo, something like that. I had this one for a while, just because I liked it. Or some photo of my kids because I like my kids. Maybe that one. There's a good photo of my daughter falling asleep by the back door. Right? Something like that. One of my recent runs in town. So that's what my desktop wallpaper is. Were there any other questions that Steve asked, really? No, that's really how I do it. And I actually feel, because the automation that Drafts and Shortcuts specifically give me in iPad OS, because I can do the the draft stuff, if you looked, the drafts do work in macOS as well. Where was it? Let's go back to the basic. I think was the best one to show it with. There's a viewable visibility in macOS, visible in the list, visible in the action bar. So you can see these will run in macOS as well. But I feel specific with shortcuts because there's no shortcuts. So if I ran this save as routine, I wouldn't get the like automatic fill in the blank, name your file. I wouldn't get the move it off to the proper spot. I wouldn't get the what is it? Like interface with my Git program on my iPad because it's not there. Stuff like that. So I feel handicapped a lot of the time. I do some programming on my Mac now. I have a Mac Mini, but most of it is done right here with my iPad. I will today. I have like 5 videos to offload. Five videos to offload. So today I will actually program on my Mac while I'm offloading 30, 40 gigabytes of video onto my iPad, and I'll run some other like sound dampening. I used what is it called? Bruce Free. That actually helps me noise reduce my audio, and as I'm rendering those videos to prep them and get them ready for you to see, I will be programming on my Mac. Usually I wouldn't do that today. I would just only work on my videos on Tuesdays, but I have Wednesday out of the office, so I need to work on stuff that is fully contained on my iPad. And really everything I do is stored there. I store on the cloud. I don't keep local files. So if I lost my iPad, it would suck and I'd have to spend some money to buy a new one. But I wouldn't actually really lose any data. Even my video projects, I duplicate. I have my, this is my inbox, but I have my projects folder. This is like kind of all the projects. I need to clean it up a little bit. And then LumaFusion, when I'm ready to work on them, I take them, where is it, on my iPad, and I go into LumaFusion, user media, and I will drop the projects in here. So again, there's projects in here I don't need. I don't actually need late bloomers or power beats because I did that already, or my stabilized video. I actually do need stabilized video. I recorded that today. So I will go through these and like empty them out and put them into an external drive. So I have some of the B-roll for later, so I don't have to reshoot stuff. Like mouse support over here. I don't need mouse support anymore. I did that video already. And new Office stuff, I'm not even sure if I'm going to use that one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for the questions, Steve. If you have other questions, I'd love to answer them about books, about my writing process, about anything. If you like the video, you can give me a thumbs up. If you love the video, you should subscribe, but never hit the bell because you have better things to do than just watch a video as soon as it comes out. Do it on your YouTube time. If you want to support, see more videos, more stuff about books, more stuff about iPad, productivity, stuff like that, you can go to patreon.com/CurtisMcHale. Have a good one.